send those. So when you get your leads in, I'm talking to Mike. When you get your leads in, see which ones you're interested in and send those.
I'm interested in them all. I want to make some money. So
Then send them all. I think when you get enough experience, you're not going to like all of them though.
no,
Eventually,
I'm sure.
eventually
And
start
Ron
something.
says that like 80, 90% are not worth your while. So
Yeah, you have to like think about you want your assistant calling the right ones. So all of them are
right,
the right ones.
right. Okay.
Yeah, Michael, there is a form of pre-screening as well, if you so choose. If you're so busy, you don't have the time to do that. Again, you do want to call and crash and burn as much as you can. Why? You want to get that out of your system right off the bat. But, Jerome is absolutely right. Pick and choose the one that you want, the real pros that have been doing it a long time to call. Don't waste their time on frivolous things that you wouldn't even think are worthy of calling. Enhance your chances and they'll do a better job for you too. Jerome's right.
Right. Well, my problem is right now, Richard, is that I don't know what my best prospects are. I'm like, hey, let's call everybody and just see how it waters down.
It's
So
more about the houses that you want right now than it is the prospects.
okay. In our market, I'm getting, and as I said to Adele, we're getting condos, we're getting mobile home communities, we're getting deed restricted communities, and then I'm getting 1 million, $1.5 million houses and stuff.
So which ones do you want?
I want the one that's going to make me money. I don't care which one it is. I don't care if it's $100,000 house or $1 million house.
Where are you?
Well, you got to screen them and you got to pick the ones you want because it's a little too broad right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Where are you?
I'm in Punta Gorda, Florida, Southwest Florida.
Hey, Michael,
Nice.
you know that once you hook up your VAs, you can also source FISBOs that's for sale by owner leads. You get them for free now. But you can tell them, hey, I want South Florida, but I don't want any condos. I don't want mobile homes. I only
Okay,
want three
okay,
bedroom, two bath. So you can filter that and let
okay,
them do the work to call them. Now, you see what you're doing there? You're funneling in what you want,
okay.
to Jerome's
All right.
point, right?
That's good. Yeah, that's good information. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Looks like we got a question there from Abigail, or hand up, I should say.
Good evening, everyone. I have a quick question. I'm a Gold Club member and an online student. One of the advisors told me to email my lead information sheet over to leads at onlegrand.com
Mm-hmm.
so we can go over it tonight. So should I just pull it up or it was
I
received?
I did I did look it up prior to the call. Now that house is listed with a realtor.
Well, it wasn't listed with a realtor before that. So when I called him, he told me he just put a realtor on it. He had to add 10 grand, but if we can speak, he would work it out and remove. I mean, he work something because it's a friend of he's his friends, the realtor. Because when he said he had a realtor when I made the call, I told him, well, we already have a realtor on it. I thought it was for sale by owner. He said, yes, it was, but it's been a while, and I just uh he just wanted to see what he can get from it and uh, put it up. I mean, he brought it up 10 grand, and he said he wouldn't have to pay all these fees and stuff like that. He wants us to come see it, but I mean, I spoke to the advisors about that, and they said bring it to the call and
Yeah,
see.
yeah, for sure. I can pull it up here and see. Kind of give you my take on it. If you don't
Thank you.
mind, do you mind if I pull it up here?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, okay. Let me see here. So you can
If you can't
request.
read my handwriting, so I'll help you out.
No, you're
Because
good.
it's pretty.
It's not letting me share my
Uh,
screen here.
okay.
Your question also. Yeah, sorry. I thought I might be able to share, but I guess I don't have that capability to do so. But host tools. Well, let me try this. Okay, someone did something in the background, so thank you, whoever that was. So here we go. All right. 37, 35. This is it, right? You guys can
Yeah.
see this? Okay. Um, First thing I would want to do if I were to get this lead were to find the ARV, like find what the true ARV is. So I would just kind of pull off the screen here. Let me get that here. And this is a condo, I think you said.
It's
We'll put
it's an
that on
apartment.
yeah, okay. Oh, an apartment, okay. Okay, let me do something. Okay. So I just want to see what other apartments are selling for kind of in the area there that are similar size. So this is a 1174, which is a subject. This one just sold for 249 in February.
Mhm.
This one sold. Sorry, this is not really 248, 10. That's probably going to be the best one right there. This is a little bit bigger. So I would say, I mean, ours, probably in that 265 range, just based off of them. This one just sold in the same
Mhm.
complex. Um, you can take a look at these pictures here. Oh, there's none here. But basically how I would figure that out, right? This is you want the subject property is 1174. So I usually go about 250 square feet plus or minus from what that is. So this one would be a comp, and I would just try and find what that one sold for, like price per square foot. So like 248, which is the sale price divided by the square footage. So tell me that one sold for 227 a foot, same complex, just recently. Our subject's 1174. So that's how I came up with that ARV of like 265, just really quick off of it. He's asking for 240. So you got something there, and he's willing to take payments on it, or have you broached that question with him yet?
Not yet. It was 229 when I got the lead from you guys. Now because of the realtor, it brought it up. So he's willing to bring it down. So I would have to start negotiating with the 220, having in mind the 229.
I mean, I wouldn't. My first question to him kind of would go through the script, right? Like sometimes, we do pay cash. Other times I can make you a payment. Right.
Mhm.
Obviously, the cash price would be a lot less than the terms. Are you in a position where you can't sell unless you get all cash now? That's the main question you want to get out of that. And if he says that he's willing to do that, you can go through the benefits just like on the script. And then from there, you would proceed into, what's the least you'd take. So we're not really gonna make him an offer per se. We're gonna try and pull the numbers and the data from him that we need and kind of see what the list you take. It did
Mhm.
the listing does say home can be purchased with no money down. So I didn't, I don't know if that's a realtor talk because it says up to 4,000 seller credit. So it could, I don't know what all that means. So I would definitely try and go through that script and ask him. I mean, can't hurt.
Yes, I went to the script since I'm the one making the calls,
Hmm.
not the VA. So I would, tell them I'm a local investor. Just do the first, get the details first, and ask them for 24 to 48 hours to get with my partner, and then call them back to make the closing call and ask about the cash and if that's, the rest of the questions. I didn't make the second call yet. It's just taking the information down.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see this one here sold for 230. So maybe my ARV, I don't know why this one over here sold for more. That's smaller. So, but I think at 220, like you said, 230. As long as he's around that price point, I mean, it would make sense. But it only makes sense if he's going to take payments, right? Because we're not going to pay cash at that price. So if he's willing to take payments on it, then like for sure, I would definitely pursue that. Absolutely, it's worth another conversation for sure.
Yes, okay, because thank you for that. He told us that he's willing to work something out. That's why I wanted to pull back when I heard the realtor was there. He said, "Well, I'm willing to work something out. Can you come see it?" And I believe they just purchased it in 2022, and it's already free and clear. So he said he wants another. So I can ask. He told us he would rent it for 1,800. He's trying different things.
Mm-hmm.
So had a tenant, he doesn't want to be a landlord, basically, I guess. So I would go and ask. I didn't ask him yet about the terms, so I'm understanding I should go and ask him if he's willing to take the payments. I wanted to run it by you guys first.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely that would be the only way you'd be able to purchase this, or the only way that I would recommend you purchase this would be on that. The HOA is $487 a month, which so you gotta take that into effect too when you guys come to like a monthly payment agreement. So, but yeah, definitely worth another call. Just make sure you got to get that main question answered. Is he willing to take payments over time?
Right, but there's one more factor now too, though. The fact that they listed with a realtor, somebody's going to have to pay those realtor commissions. It's probably 12, 13,000. But if you get a tenant buyer in there with enough cash, and you should, based on this, you can use that cash to pay those realtor commissions, so long as you build that into your contract, right?
Yes. So that should I make sure that he has a contract? Because what I thought he said it's a friend thing. So I told him by law I can't get in if there's a realtor. So we still have to pay. I would have to be the one paying the realtor the commission.
Well, that all depends. Let's think about it, right? If he's willing to do this where he pays the realtor fees, even if you don't give him the cash, never, turn away a gift, because he may say, great, I own it free and clear. I have no real debt service. I'm going to make enough money for a month. I'll maybe get my money back in 4, 5, 6 months. So no, but just be lined up to the fact that you might have to pay those realtor fees, but I wouldn't volunteer it. Let him tell you, right? Does that sound about right, Adele?
Yeah, I would even go a step further and say I wouldn't even consider paying a realtor commission. I know we don't. So like, it's his problem in a sense, right? Like if he could always get the agreement canceled. I mean, it truly is a friend deal. His friend shouldn't have an issue just canceling the agreement. That's a document to sign, and you're out of that. But yeah, I mean, it's his responsibility to pay the commission if he so chooses. Now, if he's going to give it to you for nothing down and you work out an agreement with the realtor to pay a few $1,000 is a different conversation than saying, hey, I'm going to pay 10 grand, 12 grand for realtor commission. I just wouldn't do that personally, but not to say it's wrong or right. That's just something I wouldn't.
Yeah.
That's like walking on peaches.
He says don't pay it.
Right.
Yeah, but definitely would say, call him, ask him to really press him on, obviously get the payment, but really press him on that realtor in terms of, hey, we were to agree, who's going to cover these, who's going to cover the issue of the realtor? Are you paying it? Are you going to cancel it? Like, how do we move forward with that? So.
Hey, Abigail, your top screen, you've got a major hitter on here, Tony and Angie Stewart. Right, Tony? There's a player. He's been around the block.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm in the man cave, also known as the garage. Loving life, man.
Oh, hi.
Hey there. Great stuff. Great conversations. Adel, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I understand that, Ron's been very excited about Ron's Deal Finder, and I think it's awesome because I see that Deal Finder getting out there. Grant Cardone even has a 10X Deal Finder based on the
Okay.
same platform. So that sucker is getting out there. My
Yeah,
question to you is, I understand that you're starting to use it, correct?
correct.
What specifically are the AI scores that you're going for with that?
Anything over 500, to my understanding,
Are you
is
using all three AI scores?
it depends on what I'm searching for. If you're looking for a wholesale junker, then I would go with the wholesale score.
Right.
Now, I am testing now, calling low equity mixed with something else, right? Low equity tax or pre-foreclosure, or low equity absentee owner, or something that would trigger them to try and pitch the terms a higher with the higher retail score. Because if they're going to put it on the
Okay.
market, that means they're thinking about selling anyways. So I always,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going targeting. I might do a low equity search with a high retail score to go after some terms because they're thinking about selling retail. I might be able to talk to them about the payments, and they might be a better option for them depending on their situation. And then I'm
Okay.
also targeting a higher wholesale store, which are a lot easier to find, right? You just use your typical list, absentee owner. I always try and list stack. So I want to have multiple points of pain per se on a list, right? Whether that's vacant and tax delinquent, vacant pre-foreclosure, absentee owner pre-foreclosure. So I want to stack those lists to have multiple layers of needing to sell along with a high AI score. It's kind of how I've been playing it.
Okay. Because I've been playing with the two, and I've been trying to just use the AI score because if you look at the AI scores, the stuff that has the highest scores, if you look at the reasons why, they do some of that stacking within that score,
Correct.
right?
You're right. Yeah,
So I've been trying to figure out. I mean, I'm still dialing in. I mean, I've been
yeah.
getting some good responses, but I'm trying to find that sweet spot, and I think it's more of an art than a science, my friend.
Well, I would say this, I've been using a lot of platforms very, very similar to this for a long time. There's a lot of them
Sure.
out there that you can pull lists from, but none of them
Oh
have
yeah,
the AI component.
that's right.
And so that's a plus. And what I've learned over the, years, and I've done a ton of cold calling, and I still do, is really no magic in
Mm-hmm.
a particular list, right?
Yeah.
There's deals in every list. It's just a matter of who's willing to consistently call through it and get through that time after time, week after week, and just pull in different areas, right? So I tend the only list I would say I think are more valuable is if you collect them. It's a little bit more tedious, or you can have a VA do it off of the county websites.
Sure.
You can
Yeah.
literally go in there
Yeah.
day
You
by
build your own
day
list.
and build your own. Those are by
Yeah.
far going to be way superior, in my
Oh yeah.
opinion.
Absolutely.
But pulling them from Ron's Deal Finder is the next best thing. They may be a little bit behind, but it's not worth doing the extra list building if you have the money to spend on it.
Cool. Now, in testing them, Adel, are you sending direct mail or are you trying to do cold calling to them?
Both.
How are
We
you
just
testing?
started. Just sent out. Or about to send out our first mailing campaign to them. But in the meantime, I have been calling, a few times, a few hours a week, trying just to get through and just to see, just like you guys are, right? To see if it's working.
Yeah. We're testing,
Yeah,
man. Hey,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no failure, only feedback, friend.
Correct. And
So, which card are you using? Do you remember off the top of your head which card you guys are using?
card? What do you mean?
Yeah, which postcard?
Oh, there was one that had like a dollar bill in front of it. Because the mailing in there, some of them I don't like to send mail that has directly, hey, you're in pre-foreclosure.
Oh
And
no,
some
you
of the
never
yeah,
mentioned the problem,
well,
right?
some of the postcards in there have
They
that.
do.
Hey, help me
No.
solve my tax.
Yeah, yeah,
Let me
yeah.
help you my tax lien. So I had to find
Right.
kind of a generic one in that mix.
Right.
But I can get back to you on the exact one on the next call or whatnot
That'd
and
be
let you
good,
know.
just to
Yeah,
know what we're testing because
yeah,
I've definitely stayed in the general section as
yeah,
opposed to the specific problem section, just based on what I've learned from Ron.
yeah.
And but we're testing those babies out. It's going well so far, but I want to make it go even weller.
Yeah. No, I understand. We have I haven't seen the link, the email for it, but we're starting the group calls. I know this is a monthly call that they do for the Gold Club members, but starting on
Yes.
this Thursday, I will be conducting a new weekly group call with all mentor and master students to go over more in depth process. I've kind of been testing it out with my students, just doing live calls, doing comping, doing role playing. But Thursdays, the first one's going to go over the Ron Steel Finder again,
Yeah.
just a little bit more in depth about kind of how to use it, how I think it's best to use it, or my experience with it. So, yeah, I look forward to, I'm sure you'll be on that call, hopefully. If not, it'll be recorded and sent
Very
out.
cool.
But yeah, so looking forward to it. It'll be a very similar format to this, but hopefully a little bit more interactive, and I'll be able to, um, I'll envision doing live calls and bringing guests on and things like that. So it's kind of an evolving thing right now, but yeah.
And I'll pull my weight. I'm going to let you know some of the stuff I come up with for my testing as well.
Hey, I love that's
So,
better. That's less talking I got to do. So I'm happy when
yeah.
people want to jump in, and
No, I love to share, man.
Yeah.
I believe in abundance, man. There's plenty out there for all of us.
I agree. I agree.
So what's working for you right now outside of Ron's Deal Finder?
We've had a lot of success this year. I've always done, and with Ron, direct mail. Right now, what's working for us is we send out these letters with like a check. It's in the form of a check.
Yeah. You doing that through print mail?
Yeah. So those, I think every deal we've had this year, except for one or two, has come from that check letter. So those are working really well.
What kind of response rate are you getting on those?
I'd have to check for this last month, but I think we're probably in that like 4 to 5% response.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, just
That's
response.
awesome.
People calling. Some of them are, with direct mail, you're going to get the "How dare you call?" Send me a letter type thing. But we're definitely you're getting a lot of responses from those. Absolutely,
4 to 5% is beautiful, man.
Just on those checks, yeah. And most of the time, occasionally there are going to be a number on those that are unrealistic on the high side. Just the algorithm messes up, so you got to be able to just be upfront with that. But most of the numbers I've come across that people have, where they're in the ballpark, right? It's worth having a conversation and say, hey, we may not be able to get you. Like one we got had 73 on it just on Friday or Thursday she had called, and we could only offer 55, right? So the house was a little bit beat up. It's small. So it's not terrible. It's not like it came with 100. I'm over here asking for 40, right? So they're in range, and some of them are right spot on. The last one we did, I negotiated 10K down at the house, but we would have bought it at the number on the check. So it's a really easy conversation to have with people, because the hard part for a lot of people is that negotiation part, or what should I offer, but when it's already on the check, it kind of skips one of those, right? They already kind of have an idea of what they're going to get. So that's been working, and we have a cold caller who's calling on our behalf that gives us quite a few leads. Now, if you've ever cold call, I use
Nicholas Nick. I use Nicholas Nick.
Okay.
Do that, man.
Well, I've called cold call for years, and cold calling leads are good, but I wouldn't say they're all necessarily hot leads. They're more of like follow-up nurture leads. A lot of them are like, yeah, I'd sell in the next 6 months, or I'm going through foreclosure right now. I'm trying to work it out with the bank. But you got to keep in touch with the routine.
That's right.
So I bring it back to our callers. We're getting probably 1 to 3 leads a day, but some of those leads are literally like, well, if I got a magic offer, I would sell. So that's not really a lead. It's do I classify that as a lead? I don't know. Yeah. But we had a question here, Mr. Jerome, Mr. Implementation.
Oh, he's jumping in here. Now listen, Jerome, you sit back. You wrote your book, man. Sit back, brother.
My question is a follow-up to yours, Tony, because
that's all right. Then go ahead and ask it then.
Yeah, I'm going to ask it. It is for you, Edo, for when you send out the letters, how are you handling those calls? Are they coming straight to you? Or are they going to Pat Live or some other process?
Yeah,
Great
typically
question.
I will live answer during the day from 9 to 5, 9 to 6. I forget what it's set out, and then after that is forward to Pat Live.
How do you do that? Do you put like your direct phone number on there or
Every piece of mail that we have has a different tracking number.
okay.
So I just save that tracking number in my cell phone as like probate lead or Ron's
Okay.
deal finder. So when they call that, it's forwarded to my number and it pops up on my phone as X lead or whatever I labeled that in my phone. And then the evenings I just route it to Pat Live. And then from there I have to
Okay.
figure
Because
it out.
I get a lot of calls, but they hang up as soon as they find out it's not actually me. It's like a receptionist. People tend to hang up quicker. They want to talk directly to the principal.
Hey,
Gotcha.
Jerome, if I can throw something out there,
Yes.
what in all our mail pieces, we always say call Angie or I, or our assistant Pat. And
Yeah, I
that
do
way,
that. They just don't want to talk to receptionists in some cases, and I'm trying to figure out how to handle that. So
that's how we handle it. And people seem to stay on the phone because they're like, "Oh, Pat, okay, you're the assistant," and off it goes.
okay, all right.
But
I would also, when you say they don't want to talk, like they're not giving any information whatsoever, not even an address or phone number
Yeah,
or
it's a little flaky. Like you know how you get the message. I'll see someone. They're like, "I wanted Jerome," and then they'll hang up. It's like, well, So
yeah,
what
that's
Tony is
someone trying
saying
to get
kind
a
of makes
date,
some
man.
sense. You
yeah.
said what?
That's someone trying to get a date. They're not trying to sell a house.
I don't know. Some of them are calling to curse me out, but some of them really want to
Oh,
talk to
nice.
me. So it's
I'm
a
just
mixture.
teasing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had that problem, honestly, but I would say that they are calling as long as are you getting their phone number at least? You have their, to
Yeah.
return the
Yes.
call.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, but at least they did call. So I mean, you gotta follow up with them regardless of whether the secretary got the information or not. Same process happens, right? You got to chase them basically and get them
Yeah.
back on the phone. I did the voicemail thing for my first year, after boot camp, and it is a pain. It does suck having to call, like chase people down without knowing if they're looking to sell because 50% of them are going to tell you, well, I was just calling to tell you to take me off the list. And here I
Right.
am. I've
Right.
called you the last
Right.
7 days in a row, thinking there was something here. But yeah, I think
Okay.
some of that is just part of doing business that
So
way,
you hand
honestly.
so you handle live answer and you have like some kind of tracking something set up on your phone. What is that?
Well, it's not on my phone. I just save so when the number routes to me, I put it to where the tracking number pops up on my phone. But then
Oh,
I save that tracking number as the lead type.
okay.
That makes sense. Does that make sense?
It does, but I can't visualize it.
Yeah.
But
I
I
assume,
understand.
Adele, that's a different number then, is what you're talking about, right? So there's a
Correct.
phone number people are calling that you tag it as, this is a vacant property, whatever be the case. So there are different phone numbers they're calling.
Correct.
Okay.
Each piece of marketing
Okay, I
has a
see.
different phone number. Yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't. Yeah.
Yep.
So our foreclosure letter has a different number than a probate letter, and the probate is a different number than a postcard. So I just saved those
So they're like
numbers.
actual phone numbers versus tracking numbers. Is what you
Oh,
said.
I guess, yeah. Well,
Okay.
I mean,
Their
it's all
phone numbers.
done.
Yeah.
I use REI
Black
print
Book can
mail
do
or
it.
I use REI
Okay.
print mail, REI complete for
Okay.
who does the mailing. And when I joined them, this was even before I was working with Ron, they had a CRM already for that. So they provide a tracking number, a campaign set up for me. And
Okay.
then I have those numbers routed where I want to route them to,
Okay. All right.
basically. Um,
Jerome,
so
REI Black Book can do the same thing. You can have so many phone numbers, and when they call in with that number, it's automatically tagged, and you can actually have a workflow based on the type of call that comes in.
Okay.
yeah, very similar. Yep, exactly.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And worst case scenario, you like to have different numbers, but I tell my students sometimes like, hey, get a Google Voice number, which is free, and you can put that in your marketing for the time being. The only difference is, and you can save that number as lead, so when they call, forwards it to your phone as a lead. You just have to figure out where they came from.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. So you know, you don't have to make it overcomplicated with having 20 phone numbers. You could just have that one and just make sure you just, hey, how'd you hear about us type deal. And most of the time they call you anyway, saying you sent me this letter or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, just wondering because people can be flaky. They're like, no, I want to talk to everybody want to talk to the CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I've been experiencing. And I was wondering, you gave me enough information. That was helpful.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I get that. Most people, you know, especially want to talk to the decision maker or whatever.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you can always turn that into a good conversation when you call them and you say, hey, this is Jerome, the decision maker. I heard you were looking for me. What can I do for you? You know, it's how, you know, as you bring up, you have that call.
And they're gonna say, I called you to tell you to get off my mother effing list.
Oh my goodness.
Those are always fun. Again, I always try either make it fun or try twist them. I make it a challenge to try and turn them at least in the conversation on a high note, right? You know, they may not sell me the house, but like, you know, just making jokes, you know, like, well, you know, why aren't you selling? Why wouldn't you sell me your house? You know, what's the address so I can take it off or whatever? You know, you can have those conversations. So, kind of got detoured there, but yeah, again, just that one number. It is very helpful if you do choose a live answer. I always recommend save that number under something, so when it pops up, you know that because everyone gets so many calls nowadays. You'd hate to miss a lead thinking it was something else. So
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Adam, one more question. I'll mute out.
No, you're good
because I've been talking too much. But anyway, it sounds like I know you're the master of wholesaling. It sounds like a lot. It sounds like most of the deals you guys have done, you and Ron, this year have been wholesales. Have you guys? How many terms? What would you say was the ratio this year?
Well, last year we did a lot of wholesale deals. This year we've actually done a lot. We're doing a lot more rehabs and some terms. Let's see. I think this year alone, I think we've gotten like two or three terms, two maybe. Last year we had probably I think 4 or 5. So it's not like but again, last year I'll probably take a little bit of responsibility for that, as I wasn't really I went to wholesale. Let's say when I left the boot camp, you know, like I always tell this story. There was a student, Kirk Dixon. He's been around a while, but he was at the boot camp I went to, my very first one, and they called him up to the stage or something. He was mentored by Aaron and Andrew Slag.
Okay.
And they were like, he just closed a $78,000 wholesale deal in Austin, Texas. He went through that, and I remember thinking, that's what I'm doing. I didn't remember a thing Ron said after the next couple of days. And so I went home, and that's exactly what I did. I haven't got a 78 one yet, but you know,
that's all you had to hear.
Yeah. So that's like, okay, bet I can do that. And so I started doing that. So, but yeah, so to bring it back home here, probably was me. I feel a lot more comfortable so far as you know the numbers show this year, just with discussing terms, talking terms, understanding the terms, writing the contract. But it takes time, it takes practice, and you got to go through a lot of calls to, you know, people start asking you random questions that you probably never thought about, or how does the mortgage work, or how does that. But I do feel, just from my own experience this year, there's two parts. It probably was me, and part of it this year, like the market in terms of the sellers being more flexible are definitely turning towards our favor, right? The 2020 through 2022, all that craziness, or houses were selling for 50K over asking, you know, like those days are never coming back. You know, I want to say never, but you know, those gone for a while, and people are hurting. The economy sucks right now. Who knows what's going on with the presidential election in November? So people are definitely, I'm having way better conversations with people saying, yeah, I would consider that. I would consider just get me out of this payment. You know, I can't afford to make this payment anymore. And so I would say that, you know, it's probably a combination of both, but definitely I'm seeing more. We haven't wholesaled a house this year at all. So,
wow.
You know.
Okay. All right. So, well, I'm going to mute out now. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, hey, keep asking as much as you got. It doesn't bother me.
I want to let somebody else have a chance.
Yeah. All right. Who's up? Anybody else got anything?
Yes, I do.
All right.
how does all the lead generation taken in, the different phone numbers, everything else fall into the Dream system? Are you using Dreams at all? Is that a viable option or?
I do use Dreams for certain things. Mainly I use Dreams for the comping aspect of that. I think it's a great tool to have. I do know that, I mean, at the end of the day, CRM is only as good as you make it. Right? CRM isn't going to get you more. I got to be careful because it can get you more deals if you use it correctly with follow up. But just having a CRM is not going to make your business
You've got to
grow.
do
Right? Yeah, correct.
stuff.
So Dreams can fit into everything that you're doing. You just have to learn how to work the software, right? Learn the website, do the training videos. Whatever CRM you use, not just, it could be whatever you do in this business, you're going to have to take some training when you leave the boot camp, and you can't just go home and be done. You've got to continue educating yourself through podcasts or through YouTube or through reading. And the same thing applies to the CRM, right? You can get the Dreams and the VA can help you set it up to a certain degree, but it's up to you to make it what you want and set up the workflows how you want and to make the business work for you and how you want it to run. Because how you envision your CRM or your business operating is completely different than Tony or Jerome or myself. So you have to figure out what's best for, what type of business that you want, right? I came from the restaurant. I used to have 11 restaurants. We had 300 employees. So I know I don't want to ever have that again. I would rather keep it very, very small myself and maybe one or two eventually whenever I, go out on my own eventually.
Yeah.
And so the same goes to you, right? Do you want to have a team of 10 people? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's very possible. And, you could do that. That comes with a whole different set of problems and issues and employees and all that. Or do you want to stick lean and do less deals, right? You could do 2 deals a month by yourself compared to doing 6 with a team or 8. But again, more capital, more overhead, more problems. So
Exactly.
it just depends on where you're at. And again, I know it goes back to the CRM. And my point is, it's just you got to figure out what works for you and make it work for you. Some students I have literally right now are using the accordion folder, right? It has 1 through 31. You manually fill in the PI sheets out, and you move those PI sheets to the day for the next month, and you make those calls. 100% fine. I think Ann still does that to this day. The mentor Ann, I think that's all she's ever used, right? So.
Awesome.
And me, I couldn't do that. I'm more of a, a technology person. I like to have everything online. But so just to answer your question, yes, and Dreams can do all of that. But do you absolutely have to have it to be successful? I would say no, but it does help for sure. You will eventually need some sort of CRM in place. Right now, it seems crazy. You
Right.
don't probably only have 5, 10 leads, maybe that. Eventually, you're going to have hundreds, and you're going to have 1,000 people you talk to over the course of 5, 10 years, and you're going to have a place to store these, where the notes, the reminders, what all these things, contracts that you've signed. So, long-winded answer there, but yeah, Dreams can do all of that.
No, I get you. I get you. Adele, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Jerome, Tony, Abigail, everyone. Really
Well, real
great
quick,
tonight.
I want to throw something else in there. When we talk about Dreams, and I mentioned RAI Black Book earlier, that's the same system. So just as a point of clarification, the stuff I was talking about that RAI
Right.
Black Book,
Yeah,
that's Dreams.
Dreams.
Yes.
Right.
They're all the same
Okay.
thing. So those
Okay.
functionalities like the calls and being able to track your calls and so forth, that can all be done through. It used to be called Dreams when Ron had a white label as such. Now it's
Right.
RAI Black Book Dreams Edition.
Okay.
All right, Adele.
Yeah.
Let's get into a real meat and potato. Then I've got to run.
Okay.
Ready? Let's
All
see if you've gotten through this regarding contracts. So I took over a property going back several months ago through a lease to purchase option, okay, with the seller under terms, okay? However, in the contract regarding repairs and maintenance, and this is Ron's contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really says tenant buyer solely liable for repairs and maintenance at the commencement date of this lease or within 30 days after occupancy.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me about 3.5 months to get a tenant buyer in place. And I just got them in place July the 1st, collected their non-refundable option deposit, created a much larger, lease payment than what I'm paying. Great. But no sooner they move in and the air conditioning craps out. It's a $1,000 repair. So going back to that line, the commencement of lease or within 30 days after occupancy. Well, technically occupancy didn't happen until July 1st when I got my tenant buyers in place. But technically on the seller's behalf, I did sign the agreement several months ago. So in the court of law, who's responsible to pay for the AC? I'll tell you the outcome, but based on that contract.
Well, I would probably lean towards that's a good question.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I think I need to clean up the language in that. And what I need to do is modify it and just specifically say 30 days after the subject property is occupied by, somebody actually living in there.
Yeah.
And it has to be cleaned up. Bottom line is what I did because I didn't want to fight. I want to think about the big picture. I made a lot of money down. I'm making a lot of money on the spread. So he and I have agreed to split it.
Okay.
We're splitting the cost of the repair.
Yeah, that's a good question. My first instinct would say that you'd be responsible for it. All right, that would be my initial, just based on what you tell me, or not you or whoever in your position. But yeah, if you're able to solve it that way, that's fine too.
Yeah, it's almost a double sword. It's like one says at signing of it, the other one says at occupancy. The only thing it says or occupancy. So it's like it's this one or that one. But who's going to occupy it before you sign the lease? It's given. You're going to sign it first before you occupy it, right?
Well, it just depends on if you look at it that way or if you look at, hey, the original seller sold it to you on this day, whether you occupy it 2 weeks from now or 3 months from now, technically you've taken possession of that.
That's the ambiguity.
So
I think it's just something that we need to get cleaned up. And
Yeah.
here's the best part. Michael, remember at the beginning, I mentioned take your calls, do things, crash and burn.
I'm
That's the first time this has happened to me. So I've learned by this mistake. And is it a mistake? No, it was a little bit of an oversight. Should have drilled into it deeper,
It's a learning lesson.
You bet it is. And I'm okay with that. It costs money. It's my tuition. Simple as
There you
that.
go.
Anyway, everybody on the call, I've got to run for now. I have another call, but it's been really nice. Adele, thank you so much. And Tony and everybody, it's great to see you again. See you soon.
Yeah, likewise. Have a good one.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay,
You're
bye.
a winner, man. Keep rocking, brother.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Any other questions we got here?
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm over in the corner there.
Yeah.
I just started the Go Club just today.
Oh, well, awesome.
Today.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. And I got my lead generation going already. Is that what they call the on the web? Yeah, when you
Go ahead, say again.
it's a for county to county, you have all those you can get generation.
Oh yeah, you're getting some leads coming into to your email now from the VAs or from the FSBOs.
Okay, and so what do I just need to fill something out with that, or
do you have the VA service now, or
I don't?
Okay. There's two options, right? You can sign up for the VA service. You can have them call for you, and they'll provide you with a PI sheet, a property information sheet. Or you can make the call yourself to those and get that sheet filled out and just go straight into the closing call. But have you been to a boot camp yet, or is this your first introduction to anything real estate?
Well, this is it's not my first time, but I have I just need I don't know what to say actually. I just wondering more about the property sheet. I just need to fill it out because I won't be able to get a VA.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just go through the Go Club. You should be able to search in the resources there. Just search for property information sheet, and you'll have one pulled up. One should pull up there, and you can print out as many copies as you want. And really, that opening call is just trying to build some rapport. You got some pictures online, get some of that information that's on that property information sheets, basic name, phone number, address. Um, and you probably through the Gold Club, I would imagine, can also search for the script, closing call script, and the $1 million script. And yeah, you just make those calls and kind of follow. I know they used to have a script to get the PI sheet filled out as well, and I'm sure it's still on the Gold Club. There's a certain way to approach that as well. So
Adel,
you,
and there is even a video, if I remember correctly, of
okay,
Ron showing me how to do it.
yeah. So you can kind of look on there, get some examples, get some videos, print off all that stuff you have, and really have it in front of you whenever you make these calls, and try and get these sheets filled out and going to see if they're open to taking payments.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yeah.
The there's a couple of links in there that leads me to affiliate links.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it I can get commission on those?
Affiliate link for like, what do you mean? Like the
Well,
different?
yeah, there's affiliate links. Yeah, you go in the affiliate link. Yeah, there's a link on the side,
Yeah.
and it takes you to the products.
Yeah. I think everyone should have their own affiliate link on their Gold Club. Is that you talking about to give to like a friend who might want to do the Gold Club too, for example? Is that what you're asking, or?
And they also it also has other
Yeah.
courses. And
Hmm.
I was wondering how much commission does he give on the courses?
Oh, great question.
Did
I
you
don't
follow
know.
the link? If you hit the link, I think it lays that out because you get certain things on the classes and then something else on the courses, if I remember correctly.
But I didn't find it though. I don't know where to look.
Either that or do a search in Gold Club under affiliate, and then probably will
I
bring the
so
program.
I would just look. I know it varies with every link in every course, and I
Yeah, that's
also
what
know
I
that they
thought.
just recently changed it, so it's going to be subjective depending on what you're trying to do. Like they just changed something earlier this year, so you can get commission.
Okay, yeah, I'm planning on I'm planning on referring the courses.
Yeah.
Mainly the quick start. That's I think that's a very important one that I want to get to. Um, I want to meet you all or whenever you're there, so I
Yeah.
can actually learn and grow. I mean, my gosh, there's millionaires there probably. No,
I think you're probably right. What where are you located?
I'm in Idaho.
Oh, okay, you're real far.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been here. He's been to Oregon and I think he's been to Washington, kind of close, but I've never
Yeah.
been to Utah.
I think the closest one we got to you coming is in Chicago. I don't even know if that's that close to you, but I think it's closer than Jacksonville, I think. So,
Well, I
um,
gotta be in Jacksonville. I want to go in there and check out his house.
well, I don't think he takes to the house anymore, but he can check his office out.
You know, and I want to meet Barbara.
Yeah. Well, we got one in August 20th through the 23rd. That's the next one. So, we'd love to have you.
Okay, yeah, and I think the Gold Club's a really good one to promote because it's all residual.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and
You,
you get free leads, so there's definitely yeah, absolutely.
oh, okay, so that's and then I just got to learn how to do real estate. So
Well, that's true as well. Once we got to get to the boot camp, I don't know if we have any more virtuals this year. We might have one at the end of the year, so that could be another option for you to do it
I think
virtually.
one in October. I think I saw
Okay.
October. Right, that's about 3 or 4 months from now.
Yeah. Um,
Could be November. I don't know.
I just had the schedule up a second ago. I can look for you. Um, but I'm glad to have you here. If you have any questions, keep coming to these and ask away for sure.
Okay.
All right. I have a question here in the chat. How to get funding for acquisition with 75-25 split? Sorry, I can't pronounce this name. Mr. Hassan, you can come off of mute and you can ask if you like exactly what you mean. Maybe not. Mr. Hassan, he asked his question in the chat. Oh, give him a second. I got it. Yeah, you got to get yourself off mute there. Should be in the bottom left-hand corner if you're on your phone. Should be. Sometimes I forget. They told me that. There you go. You're
Hello.
good.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm talking about acquisition, where Ron actually, I'm not very much into the lease option and all this. I only want to flip, and that's the only thing I can do at this age. I'm 60 plus. I know Ron is a little bit older than me, but still, I'm not Ron or anywhere close. But I can find property to flip, profitable property, and that's, the training that I went into, even though it was 1 day training, he mentioned about that he does funding, and it will be 75-25 split, meaning that in the profit, he will keep 75% and I will get 25% when we sell the property. So that's the funding I'm looking for. Is it even possible anymore, or he doesn't do that anymore?
No, he definitely would partner with you. It would just everything is its own situation. Where are you located?
I'm located in Virginia, but this property is in very hot area, downtown, Austin, Texas.
Gotcha. And you're planning on you want to buy it to rehab it.
Very little I have to do, and I know how much it has to be done. They're saying it needs to be done 15, but I'll take 25, and I'll put my own money to do it. Once we can acquire it, and then split it, and then flip it.
Well, I mean, you can also get like, are you wanted to go with Ron because you need the money or because you want to work with
Money,
Ron?
money.
Okay.
Not only money. Not only
Okay.
money, but he will not take something that is not going to be profitable. So he will, even though I'm doing my due diligence, but he will.
Yeah, I would probably say, and I would probably recommend that you would try to find the money from like a private lender.
No, I don't do that. I
Well,
could, but
what do you mean? That's the same thing you're asking Ron to do, right? Private lend.
no, we are doing profit. No, we are doing profit sharing. We are not doing third party. Lending is like some third parties making money, but not necessarily investor. What I'm looking for investor partner. And Ron did say that he does that. If it's a profitable thing, he does that.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you currently with a mentor now or?
No mentor.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Is the mentor going to help me with that? I only paid like
$50
for. I only paid $50 for the Gold Club. I took training from him, and I have also taken training from Wolf Couple, if you know them.
Mm-hmm.
4 days training, and it's before pandemic. It just, I'm not. I've tried, the PI. I've tried all those things. It's just not for me. I can try it. I can pretend it is not going to work for me. So that's why. But I've done some flip of my own. I've done a little bit of land flipping. I've done a little bit of property flipping, and so that's what would work. And I actually will be moving to Austin to make sure that it happens the proper way.
So how did you find this deal then?
Oh, it's right. It's open. It's in MLS, but property has been sitting there for a while. The guy is desperate to sell it, and whoever the real estate is not doing justice to his advertisement and all that.
Gotcha.
Sometimes it is always it's open for everyone. Even though Ron probably would not want to go through multiple listing, but sometimes MLS. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah,
Even from MLS, you can find a gold mine.
Yeah. No, we look through the MLS every day. We rarely find anything, but yeah, they're definitely, you do, there's stuff
And
out there.
also, I'm getting lists from my county that I live in, and also in Austin, but there's no leads. There's unfortunately, I look at it every day. There's no leads
When you
for me
say
to
no
even.
leads, what do you mean?
The list that comes out every day, so there's no new leads. That's what I get.
When you're
Like
getting them
for
from,
lease to purchase option type of situation. I mean, lease to. I'm not getting any leads. There's no properties in that Austin area or in Fairfax County. So flipping is the only option I have, and also that's the only thing I can probably do.
mm, I would probably disagree with you on that one, but I think you could
Now,
do
why would
both.
you? Why would you? The list. I'm getting the list every day. It's just that there's no. Why would you disagree with me? It says that there's no lead today.
Who's saying that?
The list that I get from Ron, I have two counties that I shouldn't say Ron, from Global Publishing.
Yeah.
I get two counties, and both of them are coming empty. The very first day, it gave me some list that was kind of old and it was out of my price range. I
Yeah.
cannot even think of getting
I
involved.
guess when I said I would disagree with you is that that's one lead source that's generating leads that are on market or for sale by owner. We're going after people who don't have signs in the yard, right? Who are in certain situations that probably force them to sell, right? So if you're just getting from the Gold Club and you're getting nothing back, I guess your argument would be okay. I'm saying that there's plenty of terms deals and plenty of other rehab deals that are out in Austin, Texas, or whatever county in the country you're in. You just have to find them, right? So that's
I,
what I'm,
I, I,
yeah,
I live in Fairfax, I have to
yeah.
rely. But anyway, so bottom line is, how do I get funding if it is possible? And that's what I would like to try.
I can take your name here and I can have someone reach out to you.
Okay,
I know
that
that
would be good. Yeah,
we're working with them.
I'll text you my phone number too if you
Okay.
want, or just name is good enough. I'm
Yeah.
a member of Gold Club. I'm a
Yeah,
member
I
of
got
Gold
you.
Club.
I'll put a question in to them and I can get you an answer for that.
Okay. All right. Thank you
All
so
right. You're
much.
welcome. You're
And
welcome.
I'm gonna keep on listening to this anyway.
Okay, yeah, please do.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
For some reason, I was not able to join in as a member. That was surprising. It pushed me on as a guest.
Okay. It's my first one here too, so I'm working the kinks myself. So I'll figure it out for you.
All right. Thank you
All
very
right.
much, sir.
All right. All right. Anybody got anything else they wanted to discuss?
Yeah, one more, Adel.
Yeah, no problem.
Other than FSBO leads, what should I be pursuing right now? Whether it be through VA or whatever else, how else should I be pursuing leads? As a beginner.
Yeah. Kind of a loaded question in a sense. No, you're fine. That's not it's not a bad question. It's just you can go a lot of different directions with that. It really comes down to what your budget is and what you feel comfortable doing and spending to get leads coming into you. All right. If you tell me that you don't have much money to spend on marketing or whatever, I can give you one route. If you tell me I have some money to spend on mail, I can give you a different route, right? So there's kind of different avenues to go down. But I guess the leads you should be targeting to answer your question in that way would be you're looking for people who are in distress for one reason or another, whether
Right.
that and you're trying to reach these people however you can, whether you skip trace and get their phone numbers, whether you send them a letter in the mail, whether you knock on their door, whatever, that's you have to figure out a way to reach these people. There's PPC leads you can buy, pay per click or pay per lead.
Mm.
You can send postcards to a mail house. You can mail letters directly that you just print from Word in the mail. So they, you you just got to market to them in any way that you can. Lists like foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, their probates, absentee owner, all of these. There's list galore out there. Code enforcement's another good one. Water shut off list, another good one. There's all these different quote unquote lists to target, and you just have to figure out how to reach them and let them know that, hey, I buy houses, and B, would you be looking to potentially sell yours? If you are, reach me here.
Okay. I get what you're saying. And I would just want to back up for a second and skip tracing. Who do you recommend we use for skip tracing?
Well, if you have Ron's Deal Finder, it does it through there for you at 10 cents an address. I mean, there's multiple platforms you can skip trace. Who I've always used, besides Ron's now is Batch, BATCH, Batch Skip Trace.
BATCH?
Yeah, just Google Batch Skip Tracing. They have a dialer, they have a skip trace, and they have another platform where you can pull leads as well.
Okay.
I've used them for years and years. It's nine or 10 cents an address. You can do single address skipping, or you can do large files,
Okay.
Excel files. Um, you know, another good way to generate your own list is you drive around your city in the middle to lower end areas, um, and you just write down any address that's for a vacant home, or that the house looks in disarray. Looks like,
Okay.
excuse, looks
Yeah.
like, looks like it's needs a lot of work. Tarps on the roof, grass is long, abandoned cars in the driveway or in the yard are all kind of red flags to tell me that not that they wouldn't sell me their house, but that they would be that maybe they're going through a situation that might warrant them to want to sell. You can
Right.
get a
And I get when we identify these properties, we would use the batch skip trace or through
or
Ron's deal.
yeah, yep.
Okay. All
And then
right.
then from there you'll have the address. They'll give you a mailing addresses in some case if it's different, and they'll usually give you anywhere from um, 3 to 10 phone numbers.
Okay.
I would probably stick to the top three. That's what I do, at least. That's what's recommended. When you get past the third number, gets a little dicey after that.
Right.
Um, and you can, like I said, mail them, call them, put a note on their door, whatever, means necessary to get in contact with particular homeowners and have that conversation of like, hey, this is Adel. I saw your house over there on Main Street, and I was just reaching out to see if you'd ever consider selling it
Okay. Cool.
and see what they say.
All right.
So
Cool.
yeah, that's where and there's apps that you can use that are pretty cheap, like Deal Machine is another app that you can use that so you don't have to write down these addresses. It's a GPS based app. As you're driving through the neighborhood, you'll see your car like driving through streets, and it'll have the house numbers. So if you're on Main Street, it'll have like 123, 321, 452, whatever the address house number is, and you just click on that
Okay.
house, hit save, and you keep driving. So it builds this list for you, and it keeps track of your route as you're driving, and you can collect hundreds of addresses doing this in a few hours in the right neighborhoods. And then you have your own custom list there to then go skip trace, mail, whatever you want to do with the call, whatever you want to do, text.
Okay.
So
Cool.
those are
Good info.
good starter.
Thank you.
Yeah, good starter stuff. Yep. Abigail,
Yes, thank you, Adel.
you're welcome.
Adel or Adel?
Adel, yeah.
Adel. Thank you. I want to pronounce it right.
You're good.
So I have so I went to terms course, wholesale, like rehabbing. There's a bunch of courses that I went through, and I got interested into this deal that I'm going to mention to you just because I got into one's under one's teaching. So an opportunity was presented to me where it was a tiny house, and an MOD. I know it was different. I looked to see what one thinks about, MOD, manufactured home. But long story short, a friend of us working on a school who built this, they have students building these. We came to me and asked me if I wanted to purchase the tiny house. So we did. So I mean, we had a verbal agreement that I was going to purchase, donate, quote unquote, to get it, the tiny house and the MOD, and went through the deal and sold it to I mean, got a buyer for it. I had a buyer for it. So the management of the school, everybody agreed that I was going to get the tiny home. So I went ahead and got a buyer, did everything on my side. Buyer agreed, was ready to wire payment and everything until upper, somebody from the board of the school, the attorney, said I asked a few questions and they were worried about liability issues because these things are built by the school, and somebody in who used to be a contractor and someone with experience actually with his own business. And I'm not sure why it's a liability issue, but they held, I'm a standstill right now for those two properties, which I understood like a month ago that this was going to be it and we were good until for the waiver to remove those out of the school. I got a we don't know yet. So I just want to know, what would you do in my situation? Because everything was already sweat, went through everything. The tiny house is ready to, they loved it. The only thing is that upper management has a concern, and they are worried about what I would be doing with it. So
Upper management of what?
So the school has a board. So and the
Okay.
board has an attorney. I mean, so the attorney, so one person has to sign a waiver for me to remove those out of the school, just to swap, because I already have a buyer. They went to the school, looked at it. We went to all of that.
Yeah.
So they have their own attorney, sent me the everything. So I'm understanding that I need a waiver to remove them out of the school, because it was going to be, although the agreements were verbal, to solidify, I need a waiver from the school attorney. I mean, from risk management. So they went through the whole process. So everybody was okay, but there's one person they're telling me may not be. And I've already spent 2 months going back and forth, doing everything. For the stew, it's 40 grand for two. I mean, to purchase those. And it was, I purchased them really, really, really low. So I just, I'm just stuck there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great question. It's one of the many hurdles, it sounds like, in real estate. I mean, the only thing I would say is just continue work. I mean, if it's an attorney issue where they got to sign a waiver, you're kind of, at their mercy almost, in a sense. Maybe you can look into getting an attorney, or at least having a consultation with another attorney, paying by the hour just to get a sit down to see what your options are. I'm not an attorney, so I don't really know the situation, but it might be worth spending, $200-300 for an hour's worth of attorney time to say, hey, what do you think my next step should be here? I've gone through this process here, A, B, and C. Now I'm waiting for them. Like, what are my options here? Might be worth, or just having a conversation with an attorney about that. Sorry, I don't have like a a real answer for that. I don't know.
You do. I actually started with an attorney, but I use Legal Shield, so they provided me an attorney. But I forgot about. I mean, I used it in the beginning of the process. When they sent me the contract, their own selling agreement. I mean, they sent me a buyer's they sent me I forgot, but their own contract. So they sent it to me, and I went in. But I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was good. I totally forgot to ask him now. So I can go back and ask him about that, because it's just a waiver, and I purchased those, really, really, really low.
Yeah.
And now the buyer's willing to just get them, and they're very interested. and actually wired the payment. And I told them to hold it off. I had to call them, ask them to hold it because I could not remove the tiny home from the school property. So I'll talk
Gotcha.
to
Yeah, I would definitely bring it up with an attorney and see. It may just be as easy as having the attorney call the other attorney and say, well, what's going on? Like, what's the deal? What does she need to do? Type. I don't know. It could be that easy, or it could be a lot more than that. I have no idea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Brian?
Oh, there we go. Hey, Adel.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Eh.
Okay.
My question is pretty quick, actually. All the stuff that's being updated with the mentoring program and the master's program, do you happen to know where I can get a copy of that? Like, especially the Zoom calls from what I understand, the masters are going to have a Zoom call.
Yeah, the first one is going to be this Thursday, and I will send an email out right now for them to confirm when they're going to be sending that information in terms of how to log into the call. I'd imagine it'd be one of the standard emails you got, like you got for this call, a couple days out. And you just want to have the other benefits, is what you're saying?
Yeah, the Zoom link and the what's being updated.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, I'll get on that right after this call. Shoot on email or first thing in the morning, and see, and I can get you. I'm sure you're going to be receiving some information about that the next day or so. So, but yeah, no, I look forward to doing the calls and helping as many students as we can.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be a fun time.
Yeah, hey, I've been testing them, like I said before, with my students for the last couple of weeks, and they've gone really, really well. At least I've had fun doing them. I don't know. I've got good feedback on it. So I look forward to seeing everybody else there.
Is it going to be all the masters or all the mentors?
I think it's anyone who's a master's or mentor. Yeah, or mentoring. I think either one of those will qualify to attend the group portion of it. So.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great because I like doing, and I told Tony the last time I talked to him, I said that he should do the same thing. He should do a Zoom meeting for the mentoring students because then you actually get that interaction as well.
Yeah, I agree. I've gotten some good, like I said, good feedback. I've closed some deals on live. I've called for students. I've done some other deal or no deal type scenarios. So we got some things working in the works here. So yeah, we'll just try and enhance the program and make sure everyone has as many options as possible to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great.
All right. Well, I do have to run now, guys. I do smell dinner in there, and that's my weakness. So that's my alarm. Unless anybody has anything else really, really pressing, I can take maybe one more if you do. If not, then
go get you something to eat, man. You've earned it.
I appreciate it, guys. All right, I'll see you. Hopefully, see y'all Thursday.
Be blessed, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, y'all have a good night.
Thank you,
all right,
everybody.
Bye. All right.
Thanks, Adele.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We can work with it now. I don't know how to do this. I don't either.
I think we're off.
He's still on. All right, we can just close it.